just a moment. But right now, the key is to develop your focus and concentration. And again, the danger is that if you are lost in thought, if you are lost in what? Thought. Whether that's a happy train of thoughts, I know. You might be thinking, Jordan, what do you mean happy train? Versus a sad train of thoughts. You know, you listen to a sad song, and the next thing you know, you're thinking about that breakup that happened, and you're thinking about all the times that you missed them, and so on and so forth. It doesn't matter where your mind is going, because if it is going in a direction of not of your choosing, then that creates suffering. Because you want to understand this pattern so that you can reshape this pattern. And this is something that we intimately do with our clients. We help you get under the hood, and the game of operation, we're gonna pull this one out of there, and we're gonna replace that belief with that one. If you want that level of practice, that subconscious upgrade, that super comprehensive, an amazing course, but if you want to even take it beyond that and have our help in playing that doctor and stepping back even more to help you be the watcher, then check that out as well, and make sure that you take us up on that free coaching session. So in this focus activity, this concentration activity, one of the best ways to really start developing it is through simply meditation. Because that wandering mind is the what? Is the suffering mind. And if you want to free yourself of suffering, you must learn to watch your ego. And you do that best through meditation. Meditation is what we're starting to see at the cutting edge of science, thanks to people like Daniel Goleman and, the name escapes me. I'm going to put it down on the bottom because the name escapes me right now. But I know Richie Davidson. You see, you just got to let the mind do its thing. Richie Davidson and Daniel Goleman have helped conduct scientific research on meditation to prove in what's now being proven to be the case, that meditation reduces anxiety, that meditation can help create focus and awareness, focus and concentration, and help you create awareness by watching the storytelling part of your mind. And that over time, and I'm talking thousands and thousands of hours here, developing the bicep of the brain, the going to the gym for the mind kind of a thing, where you actually shrink the storytelling part of your brain, the ego. You actually start chipping away at it and erasing its power over your life. And I've thrown in some things in this module to help you start to develop that practice if you are a beginner. And if you're at an intermediate or expert level, then it's going to be helpful for you as well. It's always a good thing to catch up and refresh, right? Found it. So you can develop focus and concentration through meditation. And how is that? Well, the first thing is to start treating your experiences, that whether it's the sights you see, the sounds you hear, the things you taste, the things you feel in your body, whether that's the heat or coldness, or you're feeling tingling and itches or pains. These are all what are called objects in consciousness. Objects in what? Consciousness. And I know it sounds like mumbo jumbo, but the experiencing of all of your senses and things as objects of consciousness, and your thoughts as objects of consciousness, will allow you to do a few things. The first of which is to experience all things as patterns of energy. Patterns of what? Energy. And what does energy do? It doesn't just sit still. No, energy moves. It gets transferred. And what you can start to do is, through meditation, begin observing how this mind moves, observing how the thoughts arise, where they're being linked to, the pathways in them, and you can also observe the emotional states that coincide with those thought patterns, so that you can invite it all closer, get in there for close observation, because when you examine energy up close, do you know what happens? It's like grabbing at sand. The more you try to pick it up, the more it falls away. And that's exactly what observation of these patterns of energy, these objects in consciousness, these appearances. And what is so mysterious about it is when you are feeling anxiety, when you are feeling these pains and these itches, you can literally bring them under observation, and little by little they burn up. They get erased. They fade. Like, try capturing, the sounds that you hear. You can't. They're just gone with the wind, as they say. And this is where I suggest you start bringing your attention, because one, I told you, you can start bringing it closer and observe it as objects of consciousness, but two, it starts to burn away faster, to the point where I stub my toes these days, and I used to let this little brat carry me away, and like I'd bring my pain into my workplace, into my home space, and it would be the pain looking back at me in the mirror. But that's not the man that I want to see. No, but when I'm able to use this meditative practice, what happens is the pain I bring it closer and it burns up. And you can start doing this too. And you start by feeling your body resting in space and losing the shape of your body. I know I just sort of slowed down there and got into my little meditative voice, but the practice has you learn how to dissolve the shape of your body and spend time in what might be called that non-physical space. And that's going to allow you to really begin to focus and concentrate on seeing things as they are, on shrinking this storytelling part of your brain, and by getting your mind online so that you can dissolve the labels, dissolve the judgments, and be without bounds. And you can develop this here today and hack this process, because this is going to take a little while. This takes hundreds, if not thousands of hours to really get a hold of what it's going to do for you. And I promise you, if you do it, it will transform your life for good. But today, you can start developing the practice of watching your ego through what's called mental syntax. Now follow me here. Mental syntax. What the heck does that even mean? If you go back and watch this video, you'll notice that as things are being called into my mind, my eyes are moving to certain positions. Mental syntax is the position your eyes take when accessing information. It's the position your eyes take when accessing information. Now, I bet you know what this is like. It's a long day, you're tired, you're exhausted, things are really weighing on you. Your shoulders are a little down, your head's a little down, and your eyes are looking down. And by adopting this posture of the body and mental and muscular posture of the eyes, your mental syntax, the order of your mind, is flowing in that negative, getting lost in thought reverie by looking down. But you also might notice that maybe in order to remember something, you look up to the left, or to imagine something or call something to mind, you might look up to the right. And by paying attention to your own mental syntax, you can begin to structure an understanding, create an awareness of your own personal pattern, that pattern that we were kind of hinting at earlier in this module. So now that we're at this point, you must begin, if you take this seriously, and I challenge you to do this, to pay attention to where your eyes are when you're lost in thought. Because when you notice where they are, that's what's allowing the thoughts to move in that direction. Because if you can change your eyes and focus them differently, you will change the direction this will take you, and you will stop it and cage it and prevent it from taking over your life once and for all. So, one way to start doing this today is one practice of meditation that actually is super beneficial, and that is to put your hand in front of your face. Now, you know that your eyes are zooming out. I can even zoom beyond that to see the things beyond my hand, but I could also zoom in. I hope I don't look cross-eyed. I zoom in to look at the air in front of my hand. And if you can, I'm looking at the camera, but I'm also looking at the air in front of the camera while I'm talking. If you can begin to focus on this plane of vision, this almost as if there's just a pane of glass over here, then you can begin to put your eyes into a focused and concentrated place that stops the flow of thoughts as frenzied as they are when you're lost in thought. It helps you concentrate. It helps you build the bicep of the brain and learn how to start practicing a simple version of meditation today. And if you can start doing this for prolonged periods of time, then you can begin to catch yourself in the moment, whether your eyes are open or closed. You focus on this field of vision. Try to take in your peripherals and just let yourself be. Because when you're in that state, watch how easy it is to catch yourself thinking, to catch yourself getting lost in thought. And instead, you begin to do this very thing that you're here to do today in Module 1. Watch your ego. Watch. Your ego. So that about wraps up what we need to cover for today's lesson. I know you stuck with me for a half hour here. I'm super grateful that you made it through this. And remember, the first step is to create awareness by observing the pattern, developing concentration and focus, and utilizing this simple meditation practice and taking advantage of those bonuses that are here in this module. Thank you so much for making it through this. I'm super proud of you because you're laying down a new highway in your mind for this little brat to no longer take control of you. So high effing five, my friend. Thank you again. I'm really super stoked. I challenge you again. Start doing this mental syntax hand practice. Start focusing on a different plane of vision and start observing the habits, the beliefs, and the identity that you have. Because if it's taking you away from that greater being that you can be and are, well, that's what you're here to do. And I'm not even gonna go to that other place because there's only one way to go, my friend, and that's forward. So I'll see you in the next module when we discuss how to activate your thoughts to create that cage, to lock the beast once and for good. I'll see you over there. Be well.